Welcome to our live stream of high school sports. Please note that this broadcast is produced by an independent team of sports enthusiasts, and the views, opinions, and commentary expressed are solely those of the commentators and not representative of the schools, teams, or athletes featured. While we strive for accuracy, occasional errors or misstatements may occur. This stream is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the show.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Hey, you ain't never seen nothing like this. Ain't no telling how it might get. It's the hypest right here. High school sports at its finest. So many highlights, you have to rewind it. Hey, Stream City, let me just remind you. The heart of a lion, the team full of fighters. So many stars on the field, it'll blind you. They're giving everything they got till the time's up. Yeah, legends in the making. History is made. We just getting started. You ain't seen a thing. YSN, gotta know the name. They gon' bring the flames. They gon' do their thing. Take it to another level, don't hold back. High school, got a passion and we show that. Got the drive and you know they got the heart. Number one spot for your high school sports. Let's go for the win. Hey.
And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is a quote-unquote Throwback Thursday right here on YSN Live. DJ Yokley alongside the 8-time best-selling author, the world traveler, Grammy and Emmy Award winner. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Anthony Ronald Hartwig. Twiggy, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, it's going to be a good Thursday. We have a really good show, I think. And DJ, we're going to talk about who we're having on, but it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be an interesting, fun roller coaster ride. I'm buckled up. I'm ready to go.
There's a lot of people buckled up and ready to go because late last night, I guess early evening. I don't want to say late last night. Depends on if you're like in the early bird line at the buffet. Like yours truly, it was a little bit late. Well, 7 p.m. The Leetonia School Board meets and approves a move from the EOAC, the Eastern Ohio Athletic Conference, to the Northeastern Athletic Conference, effective next year, 2026 to 2027 school year. And boy, oh boy, did that shake the trees here locally. Because, Anthony, one of the things that you and I have been talking about a lot is we feel the winds shifting. The winds of change are amongst us. And I didn't exactly have Leetonia on my bingo card to start shaking those trees and everything kind of moving around. But we knew something was coming. We just had a feeling with the way things are going and the way that sports culture is today that something was going to happen. And last night it did, and it was a bigger effect than I thought it would certainly have. We got comments on our stuff. The pitchforks were out. So naturally, before we posted anything, we wanted to make sure that we could get everything validated and have a conversation and kind of a, hey, this is what we're thinking. And with just no pitchforks, an opportunity to have a fair conversation from the athletic department side, from the school side, and of course from the media and those people that will be in the comments inevitably and ask simply why and what does this mean for the future? Because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people watching this particular podcast, watching this particular interview with Nick Cifera of the Leetonia Bears, athletic director of Leetonia, of course, and wondering, well, are we next? Is this a possibility for us? Because everybody right now has their head on a swivel. And all the schools, all the athletic departments are being run like businesses. And businesses are out to win in one category or another. So with all that being said, we open up the floor to my dear friend, a guy that entrusted us with some of the confidential information until last night. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Cifera. How are we there, Leetonia Athletic Director?
Living, baby, living. How are you?
Wonderful. It's been I'm sure you've been living online for the last 24 hours or so.
Yeah.
The tea leaves were out. There's some conversations. We ended up being a reliable source of sorts here for the breaking of the news, which we certainly appreciate. You confiding in us and appreciating the fact that it was official. So let's talk about it. Why the move from the EOAC, where you're a founding member of the conference, to the NAC effective next year?
Yeah. So, as always, I'm going to answer this politically as well. There is zero disrespect to the EOAC. There's zero hate with what's going on at the EOAC. We're still having conversations about continuing play with them at the middle school, high school level, open dates, all that stuff. So nothing but thankful for them. When I came to Latonia in May, I feel like I've been here for 100 years already, but we keep forgetting I've really only been here for like 6 months, with 3 of those months being the summer. When I came in here in May, the NAC conversation was something that was put on my table back in May. You guys would probably know better than I would. I believe this is something Latonia entertained like 6 years ago, back when Julio was coaching. And at the time, it wasn't the right move. This is something that I know some coaches have been preaching about the last couple of years, and it just wasn't the right time. So to answer your question in short, the why now is, and again, I'm just going to be bluntly honest, as I always am. I mean, you guys see the same things that we see. I mean, it's just getting harder and harder for us to compete with our current level and with where our enrollment's at. And I'm the one, and our parents and our kids are the ones that are at these games, watching our kids go home crying and in tears and sad after almost every single night. So I think it's just the right time with our enrollment at where it's at, and the enrollment of some of the other schools in the EOAC going the way that they're going, which is kudos to them. It's just what's fair for our kids. So I think the timing was just right.
Nick, I mean, obviously you read through some of the comments that were on our page, both social media, all over the place, Facebook, Twitter. Nobody reads Twitch, as we've already talked about. But, it's a situation where obviously the schools that you're going into play are located geographically a lot further than the ones that you're surrounded by now. Does that present a concern for parents, obviously high school, middle school, that, they've got to travel to these games too? It's not just sending a bus and saying, hey, bon voyage, we'll see you when you get back.
No, we feel that, and I think that goes into a lot of why it took so long to make the decision that I had to make. Now, the couple things that, and I'm sure we'll talk more about it, the main thing I want to touch on is middle school is not included in this move. So we're going to schedule middle school independently. I'm going to schedule middle school independently the best we can. The goal is for middle school to not make those Tuesday night trips out to Grand Valley for a volleyball game that lasts 45 minutes and you're on the car for 2 hours. So we're going to work very hard. The NAC has also already informed us that they are going to work very hard. And then there's some other confusion that I want to kind of clean up. And of course, I can ramble, so stop me and ask me different questions as I go. Sorry with the lights here. Did those kick off? Kick back on.
You got to save up for the electric bill, for some of those gas bills coming, buddy.
Right. That's why I shut it off. Well, I look better with the camera, with the laptop camera anyways. But no, the travel is going to increase. I mean, it's common sense. It's going to tell you it's going to increase a little bit. I think a lot of times, and I've told a lot of the families that have kind of reached out too, when you get comfortable with where you're at and where you're going, you forget how far that ride is in general. And I know we kind of talked about that too. We did the math on it. I mean, from Latonia to United, it's 29 minutes. Mm-hmm. From Latonia to Southern and Wellsville and those schools, it's 34 minutes. So, you're so used to doing those trips, so you don't realize it, but they're not 5 minutes down the road. I mean, Columbiana obviously is 5 minutes down the road. You're going to feel that one when you're not getting on the bus to Columbiana. But a lot of our trips were really only adding 10 to 15 minutes to them. And sometimes not even that, because you're literally hopping on 11 and you're just going. There's not side roads and back streets and hills and bumps and bruises. So a lot of the schools, and again, I can ramble on it all day long, but everybody's got Google Maps and calendar. I mean, you can type in the locations. I mean, Bristol and Bloomfield and Matt, I think I sent you some screenshots last night. Mm-hmm. You're talking 34 minutes, 36 minutes, 38 minutes. So to add a 10-minute trip to play a game that's actually going to give our kids an opportunity and a chance to compete at a higher level and to win and bring home some more wins, to me, that's a 10 minutes that's worth it, because I'll also be making that drive. So I'll be with the families that have to make that drive as well. But yeah, and then the other confusion that I want to touch on is Grand Valley and Pie Valley and those schools that are an hour and 10 minutes an hour, we're literally going up there like once every 2 years. Like, it's not like we're going up there every Tuesday and Thursday. The league has been
for football.
For both. So the volleyball and basketball, the league is split. So there's a north and a south. And I'm still learning a lot of it myself. I'll send you some more info, but there's a north and a south. So we're not even on so the MVAC, obviously we talk to them a lot more here. So it's a little bit closer. So there's only one crossover game that north has to go to south with on the crossover side for volleyball and basketball. So,
but as this league expands, don't you think the easiest thing to do is play teams from the other division, essentially, like to so that way schedules line up, and they are for the majority very similar size schools. So wouldn't that make the scheduling easier?
Yeah, but I'm saying travel wise.
That's what I'm saying. But you travel wise, like, don't you think that it's going to be more than once every couple of years? Like, hey, we should probably schedule Pymatuning Valley, or we should probably to fill in the schedule instead of trying to, go back and be independent for those 3 weeks or whatever it may be.
So yeah, I'm going to bring it up here with you. So next year's volleyball, for example, and again, I can move my phone over and show you. We have 18 games. I don't know how well this looks, and I don't even know if I'm really allowed to be doing it, but you know the drill. The league schedule, and I'll share this with parents as well, but the league schedule fills 18 of our 22 games. So there's 4 out of conference games that we need to fill. But where I'm going with what I'm trying to say is at the end of the day, so there's the breakdown. Is that coming through for you guys?
No, speak it out.
Just speak it out.
Okay.
Man.
So the breakdown of north and south and where we're at. So we would be accustomed to Badger, Bloomfield, Bristol, Chalker, us, Lordstown, and Wyndham. That is the bracket of where we sit for basketball and volleyball. So we play those schools twice. Only one time do we have to cross over and go to the other side. The other side is Pie Valley and St. John and Ashtabula, St. John's, and those types of schools. So next year, for example, to not ramble on it and give you an easy answer, we travel to St. John's one time next year in volleyball. So there will be one game where we're driving that hour and 10 minutes up to St. John's. Other than that, we're within that 35 to 45-minute travel radius for all of our other away games. And then
that's for every game. As you mentioned, you've got the Columbiana game. East Palestine's not far away. You're talking about 15, 20 minutes there. But, like, it adds up after a while. And obviously you're not talking about, necessarily, you're talking about a bus. So you can look at Google however you want, but you add 10 minutes on either side of that, because a bus isn't going to go 75 miles an hour on the freeway. I would hope not, with a bus full of kids. Right. But you look at that, majority of this is going to be Route 11, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
So
again, we're not denying that either. Like, there's time is still time, and travel is going to increase, but it's not going to increase. Like, I saw some comment, and I try not to read too much stuff, but I saw some comments like we're gonna be driving 4 hours back and forth like that. That's just not true. I mean, will we increase 10, 15 minutes? Yes. I mean, that's going to happen. But there is not 4-hour hikes. I mean, making this move allows us to remove Van Loo, so we're not going to be driving the 4 hours to Van Loo, so we can play a competitive football game and things like that. But yeah, overall, our travel is going to increase. I mean, there's no way you can spin that.
So from your perspective, why is now the right time to do this?
We're seeing our enrollment decline. We're seeing kids, and every time you talk to a kid, they leave here because of sports. We just got a 5-star rating at our elementary schools. We just got a 3.5, and we're very close to a 4, and probably will be a 4 on the next voting at our high school. So, I mean, our school is great. You guys have been out here. I can obviously brag about it because I'm here. I would like to say I think we have probably the nicest facilities in Columbiana County. And again, correct me where you guys feel as if I'm wrong, but I think we have probably the nicest football field in the gym that I've been in since in the short time that I've been coming out this way. So our kids are strictly leaving because we're 0-22 in volleyball and 0-22 in basketball and 0-10 in football for the last 4 years. And they tell us they're leaving because of sports. So, to watch the slow bleed of enrollment and to watch that happen due to sports, I think that's why the time is now. And again, I hate that answer too, just so you know. Like, to me, the competitor in me says go and get better. We have the same opportunities that those other schools have. And I've even made that very clear in all of our league meetings. It's not EP and United's fault and Columbiana's fault that we're not good. That's not their fault at all. But the truth of the matter is we have to find some way to get our kids excited about getting up and getting ready to go and play a game. And right now we don't have that. I mean, the energy around the school is, oh, we have a game today. We're going to lose in 3 sets. This is going to be a bad time. The parents' energy is, oh, I have to, run straight from work and drive all the way out to where are we going today? Columbiana. I got to go to Columbiana for a 3-0 lose. I mean, do you guys know we haven't won a volleyball set all year, like in league play? And again, I hate to say these types of things because I feel like I'm discrediting kids. They're working their butts off. They're trying. But we haven't won a set in league play all year. And at some point, that just starts to wear you down to where, well, you lose interest.
So you're telling me that the data tells you that kids are leaving because they're losing athletic contests, not because there's low investment in the youth ages from the school, right? We've seen this with multiple schools, and I'm not just saying this is Leetonia, but we've also seen schools that reinvest in the youth programs, and we've seen what has transpired from it. I mean, numbers, data always comes back. We always have our eye on the athletic side because of what we do. But you look at East Palestine a few years ago, they had to cancel games, and now they've got good numbers. But a lot of that was because they've reinvested in the youth programs. Do you feel like Leetonia will either begin to or really put a jolt into their youth programs so that way the numbers do get better? Because right now it doesn't. I mean, I believe, and I feel like I'm not speaking out of turn, the EOYFL, the Little Bears, there's a disconnect between the high school, the school district, and that program that they kind of have to run it themselves. Do you feel the same way? Do you feel like the school and the district can reinvest into the youth and build those numbers back up? And then what do you do? Because we're hearing good numbers from junior high, as you've been on here and talking about before. What do you do when those numbers do get up? Do you feel like the tables could turn on you when you become a bigger school with these facilities and some of these players that could potentially wreak havoc in a conference that is not exactly seen for having winning football teams?
Yeah, no, and you got me a lot of questions inside of there, so I'm going to try to get them all.
Go ahead.
So yes, the district is 100% committed into putting more into our youth programs. We started that this year. We actually saw the regime of what was called LASA. They folded and went out. We recreated and rebranded our youth sports already this year. Our numbers have increased there. Our kids are on our field. They're actually going to be here Saturday morning. We're playing football at the youth level. We're playing soccer. We started soccer this year at the youth level, and we actually have all 3 age groups playing, 10, 12, and 15. Football's playing at all levels. We just hosted the cheer competition last weekend on Sunday. I don't know if you guys were out for that one or not, but we had half the world was here on Sunday last week. We have 42 youth cheerleaders. So yes, to answer your question in short, yes. And there has been a big divide. And I see Ashley coming through right now with the comment that's something that we are working on. And again, I don't want to put too many rabbits out there, but that's one of the biggest things. I have been with the local VFW and with the Legion as well. We're trying to get them to start increasing the donations that they're making. We would love for our youth sports to be free for our kids in the next couple of years. That's what we're moving to, or to at least a set number to where we can price it. Because it is. It's getting expensive. Parents can't afford it. Travel and all that stuff is getting crazy, so they can't afford it. So yes, now there is a fine line where school funding can't pay for youth sports. I mean, obviously we're not going to get into the whole legal side of things and the law side of things, but I can't just flat out be like, here's a check for 10 grand. Thanks. I mean, it's taxpayer money. Right. So we have to find different ways to find how we can do those things every year. And again, we're thankful for the VFW and the Legion. They donated us $1,000 this year. And we took that $1,000 check and I handed it directly to our youth organizations. So the school, that is, again, showing you where the school is involved. We're not taking that money and putting it in our bank account and saving it. I mean, we're doing everything we can to give back. It's going to just take some time. I think the VFW and the Legion and our other donors are going to start to see that stuff. And again, we're going to keep pushing every year to get to where their donations go to our youth families, so our families don't have to come out of pocket to pay for youth sports, because they're getting expensive. But I would say, and I know I'm getting long, but I'm trying to answer your questions with that you had me, but the district is 1,000,000% more committed than I think we've been in the past in keeping our youth sports around here. And I think we'll see our numbers grow. What we do see a lot is what you see everywhere else, and what I dealt with where I was at prior to here. Our kids love coming here K through 6. It's when they hit 7 and 8 that they start to look elsewhere. So we have to find ways to keep them here 7 and 8.
Do you feel like there's going to be blowback from the EOAC at all? I don't know if there was. I don't know what the conversations were like.
Yeah.
It sounds like there was a lack of transparency along the line somewhere. Do you feel the same way? And do you think there's going to be blowback?
I think there'll be naturally blowback. Yeah. I mean, anytime somebody makes a decision to leave a conference, I mean, you're going to feel a type of way for sure. There'll be blowback, definitely. Lack of transparency, I would disagree with. Again, I can only speak how I feel and how I felt. Like I said, from the very first meeting, I went in there and said that this was something that the school district was looking into. We want to stick around. Again, I'm not trying to be distasteful. At that meeting, I even told the EOAC, hey, you guys really need to look at increasing, some schools that are more our size, because there's a clear divide of enrollment numbers. And again, you can bring up, all this stuff is public record. And I think we talked about it a little bit the last time. Our enrollment numbers for boys and girls, we're like in the 50s right now. I mean, our 10, 11, 12, the numbers you report to the OHSAA, I think our boys are 54 and our girls are like 48. And again, that's stuff we can look up, and somebody could quote me and tell me I'm an idiot and I was wrong, but I don't have it in front of me. And then, United's in the 150s and the 200s, EP's in the 150s and 160s. And so we're participating with schools that are triple our size in a lot of areas. And Wellsville and Southern are in the same boat that we're in. So I asked and made the comment, hey, can you guys look into adding some other schools that are more our size so we can start to break down these schedules a little bit? I thought we were transparent. Again, I see the comments coming in. Blowback, sure. And again, I'm not trying to sound like a tough guy, but what blowback can you get? I mean, those schools have been beating us by 50 for the last 6 years. So at the end of the day, I work for Latonia. I'm here in Latonia. So what blowback can I possibly get from it other than a school not playing us that has not been a competitive game for us anyways? I mean, I think I see the blowback being the other way. We're not going to be everybody's homecoming night anymore. We're not going to be everybody's senior night. We're not going to let people beat up on our kids to keep people happy at the end of the day. So maybe I'm being disrespectful with that comment, but the blowback to Latonia, I'm not sure.
So what kind of conversations were had? And if you can't tell me, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm interested from a standpoint of what kind of conversations were had from administrators, I'm assuming you had talked to student athletes and parents of student athletes of, hey, this is potentially where we're leaning. I'm assuming that you had some pushback there as well, and kind of talked them through it. And this is the best way. And then I guess, what was their feedback whenever you told them that this is potentially what we were going to do?
It's mixed. I mean, there's some people that agree and are ready for change and want to see us start winning again, and they understand and they trust that this is the right move. And then some people don't. I mean, coaches, we spoke to every coach in the building before we made the decision. I mean, coaches, and again, we were transparent with that too. Hey, are you guys understand? You're going to be on the buses longer, you're going to be away from your families a little bit longer, but they just want to see our kids compete and play and have fun. So coaches were with it. Parents, again, you're never, you guys know it. You're in the same business. You're never going to make everybody happy. We all know that. Administration wise, it's not an easy decision. Trust me. We've been sitting on this thing since May. You're looking at it from every single angle. So overall, and like I said, I don't read too much. The phone calls and texts that I were getting were, more positive than negative. But there's definitely been some parents that have not been happy, and I'm sure there'll be some parents that aren't happy about it. There'll be some kids that aren't happy about it. I actually just in the cafeteria had a conversation with one of our kids who was asking about Columbiana. Are we still going to play them? That's our rival. We want to beat them. And, and again, I'm going to sound like I'm being rude, and I know you guys know I'm not, but I hope everybody else listening knows I'm not trying to be rude. A rivalry needs to be two ways. So if you were to call Columbiana right now and ask them who their rival is, are they going to say Latonia?
No.
I mean, if you called United, are they going to say their rival is Latonia? There hasn't.
So who is your rival?
We personally think I think it's Columbiana, but I don't think Columbiana thinks we're their rival. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been here long enough to give you that opinion on that. When I was growing up, it was Lisbon. It was United. I haven't been here long enough to tell you who I think it is, but I think both sides need to agree that there's a rivalry, right? Michigan, Ohio State is a rivalry because they're probably close to 50-50 long term. I mean, again, we're getting crazy with our objections, but you know what I'm saying? We haven't been a rival to anybody because we haven't competed with anybody. So other schools just see us as another game on the schedule at this point. So I think some of those rivalries and some of that old school mentality is a little bit older than where we're currently at. And I think sometimes keeping that around it's good. You don't want to give away history, but at the same token, it's like, have we really been a rivalry lately?
So if someone were to ask you, is this move from the EOAC to the NAC strictly because of wins and losses, what would you say?
I hate my answer to this question. I just want to say that before I answer that question. I hate my answer to this question, but yes, in short, yes. I would base it more competitively rather than wins and losses, which I know they're hand in hand. But yeah, I mean, our kids need to be able to feel something, and we haven't felt it in 4 years. We haven't felt like we belong in 4 years. We haven't felt like we can compete with where we're at in the last couple of years. So to answer your question in short, yes.
So the follow-up naturally is, what happens if you go to the NAC and you don't win?
I don't even want to put it in the air. Trust me, we've said that about 5 times already today. We've said that. No, I would assume I'm going to be talking to you guys with a different shirt and a different mascot behind my head, and if my head's still even on my body. But no, I mean, obviously nobody wants that. It's not what we think. We think we can compete better there. Again, to keep it serious, I mean, Matthew's football game again was, you guys, I believe, were at that. I think you actually streamed it that week. One of the better football games I think we all saw this year. I mean, it was back and forth. Good football was being played. It was a 1 point, last touchdown won. Volleyball against Bloomfield was the only time we won. Well, we actually, with Valley this week, actually, we blew another 2-0 lead against Valley, but we blew a 2-0 lead against Bloomfield. So we should be able to compete with them, and we should be able to win those games with them. And history will tell you that we have, because we've played them. But no, if we lose, like I said, I'll have some extra bruises here, and my nose will be a little bit bigger.
Do you feel like this is a gamble?
Gamble's probably not the right word. I think we definitely took the first jump. You know, I saw some other of the chatter. I do think there's other schools. I mean, there's been conversations, and again, there's stuff that I can't put in the air because I don't know the facts, and I don't want to be in the rumor mill. It's not what any of us want to be in. But I also do believe there's going to be some other expansion from the NAC. I think we were just going to be kind of that first move to go. But a lot of the same issues that we were having in the EOAC, you have happening with other schools where they're at. And I saw some, again, I don't want to speak for other schools. I'm not trying to stir pot and cause rumors and stuff, but one of the comments I think mentioned Sebring, and Sebring was in the same boat. They're now playing 8-man. Should they have made that NAC move a couple years ago? In my opinion, yeah. Again, I can't speak for them, nor do I want to, but no, I mean, everything you do is a gamble. But no, I mean, there's some research that was done. There was some legitimate homework. We didn't just wake up and say, hey, screw it, let's go to the NAC. We looked at the numbers, we looked at the enrollment numbers, we looked at all that stuff. I mean, there's facts to back up the decisions that needed to be made. But no, I mean, it's a risk. We go there and aren't a good fit, or we go there and the travel ends up being a lot more than we think it's going to be, then yeah, there's going to be some feedback that's not good.
So obviously you're in a situation that's different than ours. You're in a lot of these rooms, and you hear a lot of the same chatter, but you get to see a face behind it. We get kind of the fake profiles that tell us and random text messages from people we don't know.
Right.
Do you feel like the same way that we feel that some of these conferences, these leagues, were a house of cards to begin with, and you just pulled out one of the main cards that's going to have the entire deck reshuffled here in the short time being?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, I believe that to be true. I think so. I think you'll see some more dominoes fall. I think you'll see some more change. I mean, somebody's going to have to fill our seat where we're at. Well, I guess they don't have to. You can go with a 7-conference league, and again, that's going to be up to the league to decide. I really don't want to be disrespectful to anybody, but I see the comments. I mean, do you invite Crestview? They're a 5-minute drive from all the schools. They're a fit. They're similar size to the schools that are in that league, but again, they're in a different competitive place than a lot of the schools in the league currently are. So are they going to get the invite? I doubt it, but you ask those questions. And then is Crestview going to go Northeast State? Are you going to invite Lowville? Is Lowville going to, there's just so many things that can possibly snowball, but yeah, I think some more stuff's going to shake up.
Do you think that there will be any, or do you worry, or any administrators who you've talked to worry about potential open enrollment out of the district because parents or student athletes don't want to go double their travel time on a Tuesday night or a Friday night or whatever. Do you guys fear that?
Yeah, we do. We fear that. We've fear that every day of the week, and I think and again, I'd be dumb to sit here and say it's not going to happen. I would assume we're going to have a couple that do leave for those reasons, but I think in the long run, and what we can all somewhat attest to at this point is winning kind of gets rid of all of those troubles. And again, we were talking when we were 2-0, right? You felt the vibe of the kids and the conversation. I mean, you could just feel it even through the computer screens. The vibe was so much different when you were 2-0. The town was ready to burn down. I mean, Facebook was positive. The school was positive. Now we're sitting at 2-3, and the conversations have went back to being negative. And now kids are getting hurt and kids are getting this. So but I think if what can happen and should happens, and we go next year and we win 6 or 7 football games, I think people are going to forget that we're winning games because we're in the NAC, and they're just going to realize we're winning games. And at the end of the day, that's what kids want to do, is win. And again, that's a culture that I don't want to say I fully believe in, but that's what's trumping everything right now, is winning. So
what's the hope, Nick, for everything, that you guys just win games, that people are attracted to a school to go to a different conference? What's the hope, grandioso scale, for Latonia here?
Yeah, I mean, this is a political answer, but it's the truth. I mean, we just want to see our kids have fun again. Again, I'm the one that's here from sitting in lunch duty and hearing the kids talk about how they're not looking forward to their game that night. We all played sports growing up. We all played when we were younger. We've all coached and been around stuff. I mean, that's not a fun attitude to have when you're not looking forward to your volleyball game. It's supposed to be what you're looking forward to. So again, can I tell you what I think in 2 years? I think we're going to have a 8-2 football team. And I think we're going to see kids start to be like, oh, Latonia's not that bad of a place. They have a nice field. They have nice facilities. Let's go back there. Let's not leave places like Latonia. And let's stay. And that's, again, to answer your question, as I'm supposed to, I see it working out in our favor. I see us winning 6 football games, 7, 8 football games. I see us winning 10, 12, 15 basketball games. I see kids understanding that our culture is changing a little bit. I see our enrollment increasing, and I see us playing in playoffs and tournaments and just things that we haven't had the ability to do over the last couple of years. So, I mean, that's the 4 or 5 year goal. I mean, I would like to tell you in 4 years, we're going to be chatting about, hopefully in 2 years, we're going to be chatting about how we're getting ready for a playoff game. And again, I also want to make it clear, like, football obviously takes precedent with everything all the time, but this is not just a football move. I mean, we have not been competitive in basketball or volleyball either. So it's a move that allows all of our kids to compete at a different level.
Last question, then I'll give it over to Anthony for a little bit. I mean, everybody talks about the gate. Everybody talks about, how much money you make from some of these local matchups. Is the bottom line going to be affected by leaving from, playing a team that's 5 minutes away to playing a team that's 55 minutes away?
Short and long answer. And short, yes, you're going to obviously see some decline. And long, and again, this is not a stab or a shot at anybody. We had a volleyball game against Valley Christian 2 nights ago. I made $85 at the gate. I paid $160 for referees. I paid another $100 for game workers, and God knows what we paid to have the lights on and put the net up and all that other stuff that goes into it. But yeah, and I know Valley's a bad example for that because they're going through some travel either. But yeah. You're going to see a little bit of it. The other comment that I'll make to that is this year, and like other schools that you saw do and we've done in the past, but all of our students got into games for free. So we weren't making student gate anyways. Student passes were free, and we charged adults $30 for a pass. So are we concerned about gate? Yes. Is gate important? Yes. But if the bottom line was the biggest issue, we wouldn't be giving out basically free tickets to the whole city. So it's not something that we're super concerned about right now. And we'll see. We do travel well, and a lot of those schools also travel well. Our football game against Matthews, again, was our second biggest gate of the year. And that comes, we have United tomorrow. They travel very well. It's going to be a good gate tomorrow. But we made more money in the Matthews game than we did make in some other home games that we hosted. We made more money in the Bloomfield volleyball game than we've made in the volleyball game where we've hosted some local schools. So no, I mean, in the long run, no. Do the dollars add up? Yes. But again, we wouldn't be giving out free student passes and $30 adult passes if that was kind of why we did the things we do.
In the same line of talking, the other thing that I see a lot in the comments, travel expenses, not just for the district, but also for the parents that do have to use a little bit more gas money to get there. What do you expect from the added travel expenses from the school standpoint, having to bus a little bit more, yes, in time-wise, but that's more gas, more hours to pay the drivers. What's the travel expense hit going to be like for Latonia when you look at that standpoint?
Again, it's going to increase a little bit, but I'm going to harp on the same thing I kind of harped on the beginning again. We're not driving 3-4 hours for these games. We're adding 10, 15 minutes to them. So I know it sounds like it's a lot further than it is, and there's obviously there's going to be more expense and more time in the car. I mean, that's common sense, but you're talking 10, 15, 20 minutes. You're not looking at anything extensively crazy. The hardest part about the bus is turning it on and getting it going, and paying the worker. Plus, half of the workers are paid on a 4-hour, 6-hour pay scale anyway. So a lot of times they're getting the same pay. So again, will there be some increases? Yes. The flip side and the answer to that question though is, if we can retain 5 or 6 kids, then we're getting our money back from the state. So it's a two-way street. I don't like to put price tags on kids' head, but again, you guys hear it all the time. Every kid's worth $10,000. So if our travel expenses have increased by $5,000 and we can keep one kid, we're actually making $5,000. I mean, at the end of the day, it becomes kind of a business model with that as well.
So then the other thing I want to talk about, you said the first meeting in the EOAC, you told them, hey, this is a possibility. The NAC is a conversation. If this football season went a little bit differently, maybe you get a win or you get competitive, do you think it was inevitable, or do you think that would have staved off this conversation, this decision, maybe another year? Do you think that this decision would have happened if you got a win in the EOAC already, or if you got a little bit more competitive?
I don't think so. I don't think it, and again, it's not just football oriented. But I don't think, obviously that kind of stuff changes and helps, but with it not being just strictly football oriented, I don't think so. Again, you still have to just look at the raw numbers and some of the raw data. And when you look at our enrollment and where our enrollment is currently at, and you see where the other schools' enrollment is at, we're really not a good fit in the league. I mean, we're much smaller than the other schools that are in the current league that we're in.
And for those of us who don't know, how many people? Like, what's the next rung up? Like, what's the next school? Is it Lisbon?
In regards to
size-wise,
I think Wellsville right now.
Okay.
I think Wellsville is the next most comparable. You're talking about like the schools that are in the EOAC.
Yeah, you keep saying you're smaller than everybody. I'm just trying to figure out, okay, what's the next step up? Because I would assume that everybody kind of right now in back conference rooms are sitting there going, all right, where's the next chip going to fall? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think Wellsville is probably I think, and again, I'm not, don't quote me. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I think Wellsville and Southern are probably the next two. I think Lisbon's a little bit bigger than them at this point right now. And again, they're all floating around that same number. It's not like they're like massively bigger, but you have a lot of these same issues in the MVAC as well. I mean, Sebring's playing 8-man football. Lowville's in a very similar position that we're in, and our numbers are actually very similar to Lowville's numbers. And those schools are sitting in leagues with some schools that have some more kids than they have. So again, I can't speak for other schools or conferences or leagues. I don't know where anybody's at, nor do I have inside info. So please don't take this like I know what I'm talking about with other schools are thinking. But in our case, we're just small, man. We are the 11th smallest school in the state of Ohio. I mean, we really are just small. And we're just small.
So from an outsider's perspective, you made a couple of mentions of how you're tired of being everybody's homecoming and things of that nature. Do you feel there's a little bit of hypocrisy here, knowing that you're going to a conference that you could be potentially beating kids or beating up schools in sports and athletics and the other way around, the shoes on the other foot, so to speak?
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. We're trying to put ourselves in a position to where we can compete in, and the schools that we're currently with are trying to stay in a position that they can compete with. So again, it's not an easy decision, but we're going to line up 14 kids on a football field tomorrow night, and United's probably going to line up again. You guys cover them more than I do. I see some film, but they're going to have 60 on their sidelines, 50, whatever their number is. We're going to have 13. So, I mean, at the end of the day, the word beat up, and I know in the sense it's not meant the way it is, but we're going to now align ourselves with other schools who have 13 kids on their sidelines. It's not like, we're not going to all of a sudden roll out 50 kids next year and play against 7. It's going to be 15 versus 15. And then same with volleyball. I mean, my biggest concern, and we haven't even touched on it yet. My biggest concern that I had going into it is, and you kind of went there, as we grow, what happens with JV, because to grow programs and stuff, you need to play freshman, JV, middle school. I mean, you guys know it. If you're not playing from the youth up, you're not growing a program. And if we go somewhere that doesn't have JV sports, what does that do for our JV programs? Because the one thing that we do have this year is our numbers are actually good in other areas. We're playing middle school football. We're playing JV volleyball. We're playing JV basketball. We're going to play JV basketball. We're adding wrestling. That actually just got approved at the meeting last night as well. We're going to officially add wrestling as an official OHSA sport. So that was approved last night as well. So
congratulations. That's
thank
awesome.
you. Yeah, no, the kids are, again, we have good kids. We just need to give them some sort of something. But yeah, to answer your question, again, I'm getting off topic, but to answer your question, yeah, I can see where on the other end, it's like, what a D-bag. Now he's going to want to go and be the big man on campus somewhere else. I get that. But again, I have a bear on my heart, and I have a bear on my shirt and my chest and behind my head. I mean, I have
a bear on your heart.
Technically it's an L today, but
okay. I didn't know if you got a tattoo we didn't know about, or if there's an actual bear on your heart and we needed to call 911.
No bear. I got the L, which is a nice logo that we haven't really been able to wear because everybody thinks we wear it because we lose.
Oh boy.
Oh jeez.
Do you think, and I know this is a loaded question, do you think this is a solution or a Band-Aid?
Again, I'm always transparent with you guys. I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a hope. I think we're hopeful for what we look like in 2 years. Again, I think we're all hoping in 2 years we're winning football and basketball and volleyball games, and our enrollment's increasing, and kids are staying in Latonia and not transferring out, and kids are coming back, and kids are looking at us as an option. So I think it's a hope. I don't think it's either. I think Band-Aid's too far one way, and I think whatever solution was the word, I think is too far the other way. I think it's in the middle. But yeah, I mean, again, it's transparency wise, I don't think it's either. I think we're in the middle of that.
One thing that people might not understand, Nick, is that a lot of these conferences, you have to have a football team in order to be part of their conference. And obviously there was a lot of conversation about 8-man football and would we have football in general in Latonia. How much of that went into the decision? Because I'm sure there was pushback from the conference to the administration, to you, whoever, about, well, if you're not going to play football, you can't play all the other sports and generate it. Because we've heard with Heartland is a situation, Heartland we thought would be a perfect fit in the EOAC because of the size of school that they had. Obviously, they don't have football, so it doesn't work out. For you, how much of that went into the discussion and decision for this, with potentially, if things keep going the way it does, because you have to, and you have more data than we have, if kids stop playing football, you're stuck anyway, and you'd have to go do this regardless, correct?
Yeah, I honestly, though, never thought about it. I mean, I think last time I was on here, I mean, we're playing 11-man football, and I think my quote, you guys even quoted, was that if we aren't, then I'm not here. So no, I mean, we're moving forward as if we're always going to continue to play 11-man football. So we didn't really, no, I mean, did I miss some of the question? I guess maybe hit me back with the tail end of that.
No, just a part of the thing is, conferences don't want you if you don't play football. So
right.
with your numbers dropping drastically, as you've been alluding to, that not just in this conversation, but the other interviews we've done with you, one of the questions is, okay, what do we do if, it's not a knee-jerk reaction necessarily, but were you preparing yourself just in case football didn't pan out? Because the NAC has Badger, Maplewood, right? Neither one have football.
Yeah, Bloomfield.
Bloomfield. So you're there, and you're kind of, I don't want to say safe, but you're if it happens, you have a little bit of an umbrella.
Yeah, no, never thought of it that way. The way we thought of it was, whoever the league doesn't fill football wise, that just gives us opportunity to schedule local. I mean, that's kind of the angle we saw on it. Like I told you, we're hopeful that we can keep our weeks 1, 2, and 3 home. Hopefully that's filled with Columbiana, Lisbon, and Wellsville. Hopefully that's filled down the road with United. Again, we're not trying to run and get away from anybody, but I know it seems that way. But hopefully we can fill it. Like We're open week 8. So the current league only fills 6 games. So we have to fill 4. So 1, 2, 3, and then this year for us it's 8. Next year it'll rotate around. But the plan and the goal is to fill with local teams on those weeks. So if another school in the NAC were to drop football, in my opinion, I'm not concerned about that, because that just gives us another chance to schedule a local home team.
And so not Van Loo, right? You're not going to go 3 hours away to try to get that win. You're trying to schedule local. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. And again, like, thank you to Van Loo. Shout out to Van Loo. Happy for Van Loo. Watching them, their kids are still playing. I don't know how much you guys go to the Joe Idol, and he does a great job with his website and stuff, but Van Loo's in a similar boat. Their scores are 50-0, 50-0, 50-0, but those kids are still playing. They owe us a home game next year. Conversation right now is we're still going to host them in week 1 next year for them to return the visit. But after that, no, I don't see us continuing a relationship with Van Loo, because there's no need. I mean, we had to go out and schedule a school like Van Loo so we can play a competitive football game before we got into league play. But now that we're in a league that we can compete with, we don't have to make those drives.
Except for whenever you're saying you got to schedule local. Who are you going to play locally to fill that schedule if you're playing local teams?
We're going to ask. I mean, we're still I don't know what the saying is, but we're still the prettiest girl at the dance as of right now. I mean, we're still the school that local schools will want to play. Again, I could be wrong, but in my opinion, I think if I reached out to any of the schools we've been talking about, I think they would schedule us in football if they were open.
In the EOAC?
I think. I would assume. I would assume they would still play us. Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't. I know, and again, I don't want to put things that are out there or aren't out there. Like there's been talk with EOAC schools to fill our weeks 1, 2, and 3. There's been talks to continue to play them in basketball and volleyball and stay on the middle school schedule as a scheduling agreement. Maybe I'm dumber than I think, but I don't think there's going to be as much bad blood as everybody thinks. I think there'll be a couple schools that are unhappy with us because some dominoes might not fall their way, but I don't think there's going to be as much bad blood as everybody thinks there's going to be in regards to still competing. Maybe I'm dumb. Well, dumber.
Ant, you have anything?
One of the things that we saw a lot in the comments too, because we do cover a handful of NAC schools, not all of them, but we have a handful of them. Not all of them yet. Hopefully we'll get all of them soon. Shout out to all the NAC schools that are on YSN. Come on, be a part of the family. There were some fans from NAC schools that were paraphrasing who. Right, they have no idea who Latonia was. I don't think they could put them out on the map. So this is your chance. I'm sure there's a lot of NAC fans watching. Introduce them to Latonia, what they're getting. If you had to kind of give a pitch to who Latonia is and what makes Latonia, what would you kind of say to these NAC schools that have no idea kind of who you are? Yeah,
I mean, you're getting a school who 10, 20, 30 years ago, and even that's even pushing it further back than I thought. 5, 6, 7 years ago was just we were competitive. I mean, you're getting a school that has a good group of kids, a good group of coaches, and good families. We travel extremely well. We packed the stands at Van Loo when we went out there, which I was extremely surprised about. We packed the stands at Strasburg when we went out there. Again, we always forget our band and our cheerleaders and all those other non-sport. I was putting quotes, but we have one of the better bands around. We have a beautiful band. They travel well. They play great music. They play great shows. They put on a good performance. And you're getting a school that we just have good people. Good people, good facilities, good kids at the end of the day. And we just have some kids that want to go out there and compete and play. It's been a very obviously big change for me from the city to here, because it's a total 360 in regards to size and everything. But no, you're getting a school that just wants to get back to some winning ways, a school that wants to get back some school pride, and just start to feel some success and some victories. And I think you're getting a good fit, in my opinion. I didn't read all the comments, though. Were there any that kind of stood out that I probably should answer some questions on or talk about? Was there anything like specific? I do try to stay off of Facebook because I start to get
right. You're a fake profile guy. There's no doubt in my mind.
Not one fake profile. I'd forget to change it back to my real one.
Sarah Safara. That's what I'm calling you from now on.
That wouldn't be a very good fake profile. It's the same last name.
It's this Nick with a wig.
Were there any comments that were specific to, whether negative or positive, that I could probably help?
I think we kind of
I think we
disguise them into what we were talking about today. Kind of like what we talk about pre-show was essentially, there's a lot of concern. I'm more I'm more concerned with Leetonia. It seems like everybody in Bear Country is about this. I think, without putting it out there, you are the trailblazer in this round of new conferences.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna wait. I don't care. I don't know if you care or not, but I think that this is the very beginning of we're going to see potentially MVAC, EOAC, which makes the most sense to me, band together or rebrand themselves. I think we're going to see the NAC either rebrand themselves, as I think it'll continue to grow with some of these smaller schools. The rumor has been D6, D7 schools, in football, kind of utilizing that as a conference. I don't want to say what they've been calling it because I don't believe in that, but it's a scenario. I think it was inevitable. I mean, you looked around and you see the house of cards. The NE8 still has NE7, and they're looking for the right fit. I don't know if it's out there right now within a driving distance. They might have to, and I'm not advocating for this, they might have to lose a team to get two teams to come in, if that makes sense. Because you talk about those rivalries. Nick, this is honestly the thing that I'm worried about the most. Rivalries are so important in high school, whether it's football, baseball, whatever. You have the Spaghetti Bowl, right, with Lisbon. To me, that's Leetonia and Lisbon are natural rivals. When you have a trophy, when you have something like that, I'm worried that the kids won't be able to play against the ones that they've played against for all their lives. And that was, I mean, I had guys personally that I played against my entire life that are now some of my best friends. We hated each other in high school just because we were on opposite teams. They were in my wedding. They're uncles to my children. Do you feel like it is incredibly important to keep some of those, in particular, Lisbon, on your schedule?
Yeah, I mean, and again, I'll say, I'm a fan of saying things that are like I would sign a lifetime contract with Lisbon to play us every single week one tomorrow if that's where the conversation went. I mean, we don't want to get away from that for the same reasons that you said we shouldn't. I mean, we want to play those games. We want to play Columbia, and we want to play. We don't want to lose that at all. This is not a move to get away from that and the rivalry and keeping that around. So we'll do it. It's just going to come in different weeks. But again, going back to kind of what you said, and again, this could be some of my ignorance because I haven't been here long enough. Like, when's the last time we really, I mean, is there even actually a trophy that has traveled? Like, but when's, obviously it hasn't traveled the last couple of years because it hasn't had to travel. But like, that's not something that we've even discussed. Like, that's not something that I've seen at different events. And I think on another angle of that too, I think we can create new rivalries. Obviously, that's a political answer to that question, but I think we can create new rivalries. There is still open weeks though. Weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4 are still going to be open dates where we can solidify those rivalries to stay.
I get it. I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
You're losing something when you leave a league or
Agreed.
a conference, right?
Agreed.
Because
100%.
A non-conference game, it means something, but it doesn't, in the eyes of the beholder usually. But it's also a situation where, I would love for you to keep that trophy game because that's still, and I would love for you to fill up with local teams. But we're looking at the body of work here. I'm going to put this bluntly. It looks like, and it's, as many schools are doing right now, they're running towards wins and losses as opposed to adversity. And I get it. I was on losing teams my entire life up until high school. But it's one of those things like, don't we want to say, hey, look in the mirror, work harder? You know what I mean? I know it's hard when you got 14 kids on your sidelines. Don't get me wrong. And we've had this discussion with other coaches, but the investment needs to be, I think, personally, in your youth and making sure that they have what they need and building it up from foundationally to 5 years from now. Then you've got something and then you're competing. I think this is a Band-Aid. I do. And I know you don't care. And I know probably Leetonia doesn't care and it's probably not popular, but I can see this being a Band-Aid because if, and this is a big if, it's all based on wins and losses, man, that's not a foundation because no matter what, it's going to be cyclical, right? You could have the best players in the conference right now. I'm going to guess that Pymatuning Valley is still going to be Pymatuning Valley, right? You want conference championships. You want to go to the playoffs. But at the same token, so does everybody else. So I think you got your hands full. And I'm not trying to put any bias behind this. I think you got your hands full.
No, and again, we've had these conversations, and I don't disagree with you at all. I agree with every single thing that you just said. I just think sometimes, though, too, you have to zoom it out a little bit more and look at where you're really at. Like you said, work harder, get better. I agree with you. Trust me, I've said the same thing 1,000 times. I've said it in league meetings, said to our coaches. But at the end of the day, when you're looking at 40 kids in a class, 30 kids in a class, I think we talked about it the last time. I think it's our 5th grade. I keep getting it wrong.
Yeah.
You're talking about like 12 or 13 kids in a class. So you could, yes. Do we need to work harder? Yes. Do we need to coach better? Yes. Do our kids need to be a little bit more bought in? Yes. Yes to all of that stuff. But at the same token, we still do need to zoom out and say, okay, we are not, no matter how you shake it, there's still only going to be 20 kids in our sideline because there's only 20 kids in our school. So like, that's kind of where you do still need to zoom out and look at where you're really at. I mean, that's why the state has divisional breakdowns. That's why you see schools bounce from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 8 to 7. 8 would be great, but to 2 to 3. Like, that's why schools just bounce. And unfortunately, with where we're currently at, we're just getting so small that we can get better and we can work harder and we can do those things, but we're still going to have 20 kids in our sideline. What's
the magic number to where you guys wouldn't play a game this year for football? I mean, we saw 14 with Waterloo, I believe, this year. 13, 14. A couple years ago, Palestine had 14. What's the magic number for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get beat up for my answers as I always do, but with where we're at, in my opinion, I think it's probably 12. And the only reason I say that is because everything we just said, because, here we are transitioning to a new league. And if we're going to cancel games on our way out the door, it's just another avenue to beat us up for it. It's a bad look. It's not. So we're going to do whatever we can to play. But at the same token, we need to protect our kids. I mean, we had, and again, I don't need to give details of anybody's names or stuff, but I mean, we had a kid go out in an ambulance last week. Like, that stuff's not fun. When you're on the sidelines of a field and you're watching kids get legitimately hurt and banged up, and at the end of the day, we're the administrators that are responsible for their health and putting them out there. Like, that stuff is just not fun to watch. And it's not fun for the other side either, when you have to play your JV kids at halftime because the scoreboard says 40-0. And now you have a kid who might be going for a school record, but he's not playing because you're trying to be respectful to the team. So, like, at some point you do hit a point where you're just like, this is just not fun anymore. And again, we do a lot of this stuff for fun and we do a lot of this stuff to get better. But again, when you're standing on the sidelines and you're watching kids, I'm going to bring light to it, and I don't mean to bring light to it, but what game was, I think you guys were there. It might've been the Valley game. I don't think we left at like midnight. And it wasn't because the game was great. It was because every single play, somebody on either side of the ball was getting hurt. And there was an injury every single play. And like, again, it's just hard. It's hard to sit there, and it's hard to expect the coach to coach through that. And it's hard to watch kids play both sides of the ball and get banged up. And again, I get the competitive side of that. That's not somebody else's fault that we're not competing, but at some point you hit a point. And I think we're just at that point now to where not only are we not competing, but we're also putting kids out there, and we're watching kids put their bodies on the line, and we all love these sports and stuff like that. But I had to have the conversation. Again, I'm rambling on you guys, but I had to have a conversation with one of our kids that you guys spoke to. Again, I don't need to name drop. His shoulder is done. Like, it's done. And I had to bring him in and tell him, like, dude, in 10 years, you're going to have a wife and a kid and a family, and you're going to want to play catch outside. This high school football game is not worth not being able to throw a baseball to your kid or a volleyball to your dog. Like, it's just not worth it. And those conversations suck, and it's conversations that nobody wants to have, but it's just, that stuff sucks. I mean, at the end of the day, this is the most important thing to all of us right now, and it's the most important thing to them right now. But again, take it from somebody like you guys know all the surgeries I've gone through and stuff. I mean, I spent my whole high school career with hernias, and it finally took a doctor to tell me, like, hey, Nick, if you don't quit playing sports, you're not gonna be able to have kids when you get older. And that was like my wake up moment. And it sucks having that conversation with kids that are right in front of us now. Like, all they want to do is go play football. But I'm like, dude, your shoulder is off the bone. like you at some point, life becomes a little bit more important.
I agree, man. And listen, it feels like that, I'm sure people are sitting there like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
you and I are friends off,
Right.
I mean, on and off air, but it's a situation where like you said, hey, let's have a conversation, because I think this conversation needs to be had. And it's not we're going to grill you. It's hey, why? Like, explain why.
Yeah.
And I think my tonality was a little bit off, and maybe my facial expressions, as my wife was saying, you look mad. I'm like, I'm not mad. It's a situation like it's an intense conversation and it needs to be had. But hey, man, I admire what you were able to do. I admire the entire administration, and I don't think that you're going to be alone when it's all said and done. I think there's a lot of people in the next 2 to 3 years, that's my window, that are going to be doing the exact same thing. I think we're going to see a lot of shift, especially this coming year, because it sucks. I hate it. I hate the fact that we can't play locally, but I think on a lot of these, you're right. And some of these schools who are sitting there wagging the finger at you are the same schools that are scheduling cupcakes as well to make sure that they blow up their schedule. So it's you're in a tough spot, man, and I appreciate what you've been able to do.
Yeah, it's a loser no matter how you shake it. But at the end of the day, it's what we think is best for our kids, and that's what we're here to represent and here to do. So I appreciate you guys as always for the platform, the convo. We'll pop on whenever, just not next year. If we're 0-3, I'm not coming on here.
Come on,
face again, not happening.
We'll run this interview back if you're 0-3, and we'll have an opening at YSN, because I'm sure you're going to need something.
I'll be busy that day.
Yeah, I bet.
It's not a shot at anybody. It's not a stab. It does sound like everything you're saying. It sounds like, but the conversations that I said that are happening that a lot of people don't know are happening. There's more to it than, everybody just thinks, oh, Friday football, boom, done. Like these are kids. There's things behind it. There's people behind it. So there's been enough positive. I think the spin will spin, and then I think we'll come out on top. But
seems like you got some support, dude.
Who's that? K-Ray. She should be working.
She should be working.
I'm gonna have to get on her.
Oh
boy.
No, we'll do the best we can to survive this thing, and it's gonna start with our youth, as you guys said, and we'll get there. And our middle school's playing very well this year. Middle school girls volleyball is playing very well this year. We hope to roll it into basketball, so we'll get there. And again, the biggest thing, and I need you guys to help me on this one though. And I know it's a piece, but the travel is not, we are not driving. I saw somebody say 4 hours. I know I said it earlier. We are not driving 4 hours.
I think if you were Fairport Harding, I think that they're accurate. But to be fair, it's 4 hours from everywhere. Well, you know what I mean?
Fairport's leaving, so that's who's out of the conference. So,
but again, a lot of this, Nick, is
I know,
based on this is gonna validate my point. You know what I mean? Like correct. I'm gonna say this example because this is gonna get me over.
Correct. No, I think when the schedule releases for next year, and you guys, and I'm hoping, I don't want to speak for anybody, but when I think when the schedule releases next year, and you still see the Columbianas and the Lisbons and the Lowvilles or whoever we can get onto them, or the Camels or whatever, I think everybody's gonna be like, oh, this really isn't that bad. And I think when the volleyball schedule is released and the basketball schedule is released, it's gonna be like, oh, this really isn't that bad. We've discussed boy-girl doubleheaders, and again, I can ramble all day and I won't, but the NAC has been very, 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 very clear and transparent that we are going to do everything we can to not make this a transportation concern. So boy-girl doubleheaders, in my opinion, are great for the girls, because now you get a crowd, which, typically you don't get. So now you're going to get a crowd. Now you only got to go out once. So there's going to be some stuff we're going to do that's going to help with the travel. But again,
noon games.
We've had conversations about a couple noon games. We've had conversations about all of that stuff. We don't typically do a lot of Saturdays, and we still don't plan on doing Saturdays. But I think the travel bug's being talked about a little bit more than it sounds, because again, we're not going 5 hours. We're going 45, 50 minutes, and we're currently going 30, 40 minutes. So
hey, let your homeboy in that room. I got some ideas. NAC Thursdays during football season sound really good.
That doesn't sound bad.
NAC Thursdays. You guys own it all.
Doesn't sound bad. No, it's a conversation that can be had. And that's what I mean. I think there's a fun way to spin it. I think there's some new rivalries that you can create as well that you haven't had. Like I'm going to call Balone over at Lowville. I would love to create like a lasagna bowl.
You already got a spaghetti bowl and you knew nothing about it.
I
Relax.
know, but now I know about the lasagna bowl. Lowville versus Latonia lasagna bowl.
Go do your history before you start creating lasagnas and all kinds of. But
Lasagna bowl.
these things, right? We're worried about the spaghetti bowl first, and then you can go have your lasagna and your meatballs and all that stuff. Okay.
You'd be there for both.
I would be there for both, but
You'd be there for both.
let's settle home base first.
Yeah. No, we got to get through it. I mean, we got to get through it. We got to see. We obviously voted yesterday. There's a league meeting on the 1st. We'll see the chatter. I don't know. All I know is
You a lasagna guy or spaghetti guy?
I can't eat red sauce. I would love to eat lasagna, but I can't eat red sauce.
That's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
It's a pain.
Sorry. DJ just keeps poking you with that.
Yeah. No,
I appreciate you stopping by, man. Honestly, this is. I know you said you didn't want to go an hour. You went an hour 6. So
no, we can. I could go. I could go all day long. Everybody knows that I get made fun of at work all the time. But no, it's no. We'll see. Like you said, gamble's not the right word. I don't believe, but it's definitely we're gonna do what we think is best for kids, and we'll see.
Nikki, we appreciate you, pal. Thanks so much for stopping by and allowing us this exclusive interview and letting us know kind of the way things are going and hey, manning up to it. That's I big admirer of what you were able to do today. So thank you very much.
No, I appreciate it. Appreciate the time as always. And let's keep my face off this camera for a couple weeks here.
Look at this. You got head honcho over at Louisville said, let's do it.
See? Drew, tell me about the lasagna bowl.
Tell me about it.
There is no stinking lasagna bowl.
Well, now there might be.
Sometimes you got to create some things.
It's not even a bowl. Like you don't serve lasagna in a bowl. It's a dish.
Tray,
so it'd be
right?
like,
All right, the lasagna tray.
okay. Well, hey, leave it to us, the marketing geniuses, to come up with something cool. Okay,
See?
You can't even have red sauce, so calm down. Okay, it could be the taco bowl for all you know.
I like tacos. I'm in.
I like
All right.
tacos.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Latonia, the athletic director extraordinaire, Nick Safara. Nick, thank you so much. We appreciate you, buddy.
I appreciate you guys. Appreciate for everybody tuning in. It was a long one, a lot of rambling, but call, text, whatever you guys need to do. Let's see what we can do from it. Appreciate it, though. Appreciate it.
See you, buddy. Dude. Whoa. A lot to digest. I can't even get the words out because I'm thinking about lasagna right now. A lot to break down, a lot to digest. What's your takeaways?
Well, one, I think I'm echoing what you said. I think we need more people that can do what Nick Safara just did, which is just we made a decision, and I'm gonna come and I'm gonna own it. And I'm gonna face all the hard questions from people that have been asking. We asked them in this forum, but they've been being asked on the comment section on social media for the last 12 hours. So it's not like these are questions that we just came up with. They're questions that a lot of people have. And to be able to just say, hey, we made the decision, I'm going to man up or girdle up if you're a female AD, and we're going to talk about what the decision was. We're not going to hide behind, talking around answers. He never talked around any question. Like he answered every question very directly. He never kind of went in circles and talked around something, which I thought, it would have been really easy to do. It would have been really easy to talk around those questions, and he never did. And that's something that I was really, it was cool. So I think in today's age, we see a lot of talking around hard questions, and Nick Safara never does and didn't today.
No, he brought it. And I'll be honest, I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, this isn't our usual format. Our usual format is fluff and, talking about how great people are and the student athletes, athletic directors, coaches, community members, all that stuff. There was a part of me that was a little worried. Like, this is a flip for us, but that it dictated that. The situation dictated these had to be tougher questions. This couldn't be just, oh, Nick, you're in a new conference. Congratulations on all your success. Like, there are some, I will tell you, and I think he knows, undoubtedly, that there are some conversations in back rooms going on right now that, did you see what Latonia did? We're going to follow this script. Because Nick just took all the butcher knives, right? He took all the scrapes. He took all the Jagger bushes. Now people are going to go, well, they did it. We're going to do it too. Because now they're not going to be necessarily as accountable. That's not the right word. As
It's not going to be. They're not going to be the first man out, right? When an army is charging, and that first guy is the
Front
first
line,
one that gets
front
mowed
line.
down. Okay. They're the opponent's numbers are thinned out a little bit now. Let's jump out of the foxhole now.
But and I will tell you that there's
you
not
know-
a whole lot of guys out there like Nick that's willing to push the envelope on this, because he mentioned, and I don't know if you caught it, this has been in conversation for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, almost as long as YSN has been around. Because if you remember correctly, Letonia, the first school on YSN,
Mhm.
and the conversation went as follows. We're not sure if we're going to have a football team, but if we do, we would love you to cover them. And YSN is born right there. Not to make it about us, but this is not a conversation that's just 2025 or 2024. This has been, I don't want to say back to when I went to high school, because to be fair, there's no open enrollment and you didn't have choices. But now you do. They're trying to make it a solution as opposed to a Band-Aid, which I thought he had a very interesting answer to that. Because I think they're still kind of in the middle there. Like, boy, oh boy. And if they go to the NAC and these parents and these players have to drive double, essentially. And I know he's given us the stats, but we know baseball and softball, you can kind of manipulate the statistics to be in your favor. There's no getting around it. It's further, right? No matter what, whether it's a minute or 25 or 35 an hour.
Though in the winter for basketball, that streets might not be perfect, which makes that drive even further.
Which is going to be real interesting because cancellations are then going to occur. And then what do you do? Because if you're competing for a conference crown, as they're looking to do, you got to play those games.
We look ahead to spring sports, and you're traveling that far for a 5:00 start for varsity.
Wow,
that's where it gets kind of like dicey, because already there are parents that can't make 5:00 starts for opponents that are, 10 minutes away, 15 minutes away. Now you're thinking, hey, this opponent is about 45 minutes away, or maybe 30, 38 minutes away. And we start at 5. Hope you get off work before 4, or your host.
I'm a fan of this comment right here. Go Bears. We'll travel wherever we need. I mean, first off, that's awesome. That's incredible. That's what you hope to have.
Mm-hmm.
The question
it's easy to say until you start doing it. That's the thing.
And I'm not. Yeah, we're not going to bully that comment at all, because I appreciate that. I feel the same way. But I will tell you, there are days that I drive 25 minutes to school and I go, boy, it would be real nice to not have to do this. And that's 25 minutes.
But he did make a good point. There are some trips that after you kind of get used to them, it doesn't feel long anymore. That are like, not every school in the UAC is necessarily close to Latonia. There are some trips, and it just doesn't feel as long because you've taken them for. I think there is truth to that. I think there are some trips that just naturally don't feel as long, even though they are, because you've taken them so much.
Okay, help me out with this one. What the hell is Hocus Pocus? I don't know what that is. Are they? Apologies, John. Help us out with this.
Got to be a photography, right?
I would assume. We'll get it back.
Send us pictures we can use. We'll give you some credit.
That I don't know, and I'm not like I thought it said Hocus Pocus at the beginning, and I was like, "Well, what does Hocus Pocus have to? What does a Bette Midler film have to do with the Latonia Bears?" All due respect, John, I don't know. I'm guessing that's a photography company. We would love to would love to help if we could. Okay, be nice. He takes a. Oh, sorry, John. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate you. Nick's in the background saying he takes the pictures for us. I had no idea. Not trying to be a jerk. Mm-hmm. I just had no idea. Bingo. All right, so we're cooking now. We're cooking. Yes.
Bingo. Okay, let's go.
Photography. All right. So now we know where to go for our Bears pictures.
Exactly. And I think Mahoning Valley Sports also is a new kind of They've ventured into
boy.
bear country because we've seen them cover a couple of their football games, and I think we have
we
volleyball
go.
pictures from MVS as well.
Have you not stirred the pot enough today? Have we not sat here and just absolutely? I mean, we got red sauce going right now. Nick's not going to touch this with a 10-foot pole, nor should he. You're in that photography space, just stirring it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you do. Jerk.
No,
what a
I'll
jerk.
Just sit back and watch.
What a jerk, dude. John, we hope that we appreciate you going out there wherever they are. That's incredible. That is commitment. And obviously,
for real, John, like, we mean it. If you want, we will absolutely. If you want to share some pictures with us, we would love to feature you. We would love to shout out the work you do, and we would love to use your pictures for Latonia Stories. So, if you're able to share it with us on our social media accounts, or if you message us at info@ysnlive.com, got it right this time on my A game on a Thursday, then make sure to get them to us, and we'd love to feature you on YSN.
Mike says, and obviously a huge advocate for Crestview and really all schools. If you break it down, I think he gets a bad rap sometimes. Mm-hmm. He is a little bit of a poke the bear guy. This is Mike Irvin, the playmaker, is always kind of poking the bear. But I know his heart. His heart is good, and he says we got to pick kids up from Crestview 10 p.m. A couple nights a week. Interesting.
All the games for the past 6 years. That's awesome.
Wow. Hey, John.
Keep it up, buddy. Let's go.
That's awesome. It's our fault. We're living in a world right now that's your world. We apologize because we would have used you a lot sooner, and we would have used your pictures and your skill set a lot sooner. I'm going to actively go out, Anthony, after this show's over, and I'm going to look up Hocus Pocus.
That's
and you should
right
too,
there,
because
Tom.
you're the guy that deals with it.
I'm going to do it like you. I'm going to do it. I'm the one using the pic. I'll do it.
So there you go, John. You got a new fan. 2 new fans right here because we had no idea what was going on, and now you got 2 followers. That's how it works.
That's how you put yourself out there, John. Way to go.
That's Hocus Pocus football,
Hocus
baby.
Pocus,
right
let's
there.
go.
Let's go. We love it. We love it. It's really getting back to obviously what we just talked about with Nick for an hour. Which thank you, by the way, Nick, because I'm sure he's got way more intelligent people to talk to than 2 goons.
He's probably using us to avoid his problems.
I wasn't going to say you are just absolute. What? You have a wooden spoon over there? Like what's going? You're just stirring, dude.
Don't have to answer any phones if he's on with YSN.
Usually it's me. You are like, am I a bad influence on you? Is that what's happening right now? Am I seeing all the work that I put in one broadcast? Jiminy Christmas, Anthony. Like you're throwing strays at photographers. We got a guy that gives us an hour of time. You're like, yeah, stay on here as long as you want because it sucks to be you right now. Jeez, oh man. And you're just gonna roll away in your wheelchair. Like nobody's gonna touch you. They're gonna chase the idiot in a microphone hat. Well played, sir. Well played. Dude, I better watch my 6 here as we go to Austin Town tonight. I am happy for Latonia. I'm happy now knowing that they're excited. I wasn't judging from our comment box, and we know that the silent majority is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why stuff like this is very important because we know that it seems as if Latonia is behind it. What looks to be a lot of the other communities are not, which raises the question, are they just mad? Potentially, I'm going to put this out there. I'm tap dancing because I'm not sure. I know where I'm going. Are they mad because their boxing, their kickboxing punching bag got
they're tackling
taken
them.
out? Yeah, they're tackling them. Like, are we mad? Because I think that's the next iteration of this conversation is, are we mad as a district because they left and that was a win for us, and they're doing this to potentially go get wins for them? Are we mad because it creates a hole in our conference schedule?
I mean, he talked about it. This Latonia game for some schools, at that point, it kind of felt like a guaranteed win. They just put them, hey, it's senior night, you'll be Latonia, we'll be good. And now you're losing that opportunity a little bit. And
I would imagine, what is it, week 6 this week, right? So I want to say Palestine and Latonia play next week. And not to put Palestine on the spot, but you sit there and you go, okay, how easy is it to replace a week 7 opponent in football? I'm guessing not very. Not very easy. And it's now less than a year out. I guess it's technically more than a year out. But, with 2-year contracts, typically a home and away or a home and home, depending on what you sign up for. So what are we mad at? Right? Because I think in my world, handle my business and everything will take care of itself. Like, I think a lot of people are mad because, and again, he kind of alluded to it. Yeah, that's taking away a win potentially from us. And are we mad that we've got to play somebody? Because it seems like, hey, shout out to Nick, because I called him a hypocrite and he just stood there and took it like right on the chin. He's like, yeah, pretty much, I'm a hypocrite, but I also wear the Latonia Bear. The stuff, he's handling his business. The community's handling their business in order to go get wins. And hopefully it builds the program. My issue was, this feels an awful lot like a Band-Aid. You know what I mean? Because wins and losses, to me, and I'm not in that, I don't think it steers away as much as people will allude to. I think there's a culture issue deeper. And I think that comes with coaches at the lower.
To share the metaphor, the Band-Aid comes off and sometimes that wound is healed. And they're hoping that they'll put the Band-Aid on there. It'll secure it for a little bit. And then when they take the Band-Aid off, there's a lot of those wounds that are kind of gone. And I think that's the hope.
To share the metaphor of Mrs. Kelsey, I think there's a bullet hole under there.
I don't
like this isn't a scratch. Like, this is deep. This is a deep cut. Like, this is Dave Matthews deep cuts. Do you like how I threw in a Taylor Swift metaphor right there?
Yeah. Good job. Good job. You're filling them in.
Mrs. Kelsey. I studied today, pal. I was studying.
I just thought you were doing it because I was wearing a Kelsey jersey.
I had no idea who.
Oh yeah, this is Cleveland Heights, Travis Kelsey. So I just thought, hey man, but
good. You feel good about that? That's a sense of pride for you, where people that YSN teams play. You feel good about that?
Oh yeah.
You are a real scumbag today. You are officially a scumbag.
How many times has a YSN team played Cleveland Heights? Like once? You went to Cleveland Heights, but I don't think it was because the team was actually playing Cleveland Heights or at Cleveland
Poland
Heights.
Was playing. Right? Poland was playing Lutheran West, I think,
for a playoff game at Cleveland Heights. Not
there was somebody behind him too. South Range was supposed to play. So I forget, but yeah. Anyway,
I could be wrong, but I don't think our YSN teams, maybe in hockey, have ever kind of played Cleveland.
I'm calling Tim Porter and tell him you're a scumbag, because guess what? There it is. Orange plays hockey.
Orange plays hockey in Cleveland Heights. I think Canfield does too, by the way.
They played Cleveland Heights in hockey?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm going right to Bob Beam.
Like, hey, Anthony's rooting against you. He's wearing another team jersey. Hey, maybe it's just an avenue that Cleveland Heights can see us and get their way in the YSN.
Maybe you could just pray that Travis Kelsey does something to not piss off Andy Reid this week.
I hope not. Well, actually, it's kind of fun to watch them chest bump each other a little bit.
Oh boy,
get some juice in there, get some fire.
Oh, here we go. Krista says, "I just want to let everyone know the football player got taken off." Oh boy.
Oh, he's doing okay. Okay, so we just gotta.
That's awesome. Okay, I was like, maybe I should start reading
Yeah.
these before I.
We were hoping there were no names in there because that would be like not cool.
We don't do that.
But just
Thank
generally,
you, Krista.
just a general. Hey, the player that got taken off the ambulance is okay.
That's great news.
Awesome.
We got to do a spark because it's sponsored, but we are well over our time.
Quick
But
spark.
just a baby spark here. It is the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark presented by Joe Dickey Electric. They are everything electrical. You can visit them on the web 24/7, 365 at DickeyElectric.com. My spark, Anthony, accountability. We saw it today. Way to go. Way to go, Nick Cifera.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Go ahead.
My spark goes out to, well, I was in LeBray last night, and they got to, one, LeBray's awesome, being in LeBray. It's one of my favorite gyms to be in. But two, they got to celebrate their libero, Chloe Sanderson's 1,000 career digs. It happened a couple of road games ago, so this is the first time they were able to be back home. So they really did a good job making sure that she was celebrated by the home fans, which I think more schools should do. If your milestone was made in an away game, just take a little bit of time before the game to just give them a little bit of limelight at the next home game, because I think it's really cool to just have some of the home fans that might not make it to those road games to come to the home games to have that little moment. I think it's really cool. So I love to see it. Chloe right now dealing with a little bit of an injury. Hopefully she can be back on the floor soon because she's fun to watch. So congratulations to 1,000 career digs and hopefully a couple more before your career is over in LeBray.
Congratulations, Chloe. Just a reminder, tonight, zone coverage live from Austintown Fitch High School. We will be inside the brand new facility they're still building there, and I believe we're the first ones in. So we'll give you a sneak peek at that. We'll talk to head coach TJ Parker and, of course, a couple of the Falcons tonight on YSN, which is why I'm wearing my Austintown Fitch gear today.
Let's go.
Brought to you by Youngstown Clothing Company. Yep. Stamped up, baby. Stamped up, the old school Fitch Falcon.
Is that the one that's going to be featured on today? Are they going to have everyone wearing that hoodie?
I bought this hoodie. I bought this hoodie, and there's an Austintown Fitch shirt underneath it.
Let's go.
Are you mad about that? Are you mad you're not getting any Youngstown Clothing Company stuff?
No.
I think you are.
I have a gift card. I can go get them.
You still have that gift card?
Well, from what the last Christmas, I think. I haven't gotten
Anthony, it's almost next Christmas.
Well, I can get there. I don't have a lot of time to get to the mall. I'm busy. I'm a busy man. I work hard.
Okay. All right. That'll do it for our show. On that note, Anthony doesn't have a whole lot of time, he says. The mall, well, they're not in the mall anymore. So there's your answer right there.
Well, they're not in the Eastwood Mall anymore?
Well, they're in the Eastwood Mall, but that's a little bit of a hike. You can you do what you want. This is a great country because of its freedoms, but they're also opening up one on what is that? Nope, 224.
I was like, ooh, don't get it wrong.
Nope. I had to think about listen, there are moments where I'm sitting in wherever I am, and I'm like, where am I? Like it was almost the South Range show at Mineral Ridge last night because in my head.
All right, pulling up to D'Angelo's. Here we go.
I mean, Post Office Pub is awesome, as is D'Angelo's.
D'Angelo's has really changed in a week.
It's kind of wild what they can do in 24 hours, right? But I didn't screw it up. Proud of myself. Almost screwed up where it is on 224. I've been saying Canfield for years. I find out it's in Boardman. And that is why you Google things. Boom.
Journalism.
Google. Journalism. A lot of journalism done today on today's show. Thanks again to Nick Cifera for popping in, answering all our questions, answering your questions as well. We appreciate you being with us in the comment section. And certainly we are looking forward. No show tomorrow because it is a Football Friday. But again, zone coverage tonight kicks off at 6 p.m. right here on your sports network. Check our socials. And we, of course, have a plethora of games for you to watch as well. Live, local, and loyal. That's YSN. Anthony, may the sports be with you, pal.
And you, my friend.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.